Hello and welcome back to Captain of Industry. So what's going on today? Well, we have got a gold ore processing plant up and running. We have got some large-scale excavators, mega excavators, digging out all of that. We are already full of gold ore, which is fantastic, and trucks are dropping off more stuff. There is something there which is not built, but we do have a fair bit of Unity. It's not really important saying that, so I'm just going to let a truck handle it. We have got the blueprint down for our gold processing plant, so we can actually get gold ore out. Do I actually have storage for gold ore? No, I didn't actually build storage for gold ore. Let's get some gold ore storage down. What does it get stored in? What is your output? It is a flat. So let's build a large storage for gold, which we are going to put here. Yes, because this might be extended down this way, so I think it's going to have to be at this end, which is a bit of a pain, I think, but that's okay. We'll put that down here in line with this. Hopefully we won't need to worry about... let's actually... yeah, right there. Right there, that's fine. Now these might be extended down a little bit. So we're going to have to think about that. They only output 9 gold, so a Mark 1 belt. Let's make sure we've got a Mark 1 belt. We'll be absolutely fine. So we'll take you, we'll plug you in there. We'll take you, we'll plug you not there, because that's horrible. We'll plug you in there. And then you, we will bring out to here to make sure we have a bit of room. Plug you in there, plug you in there. Cool, so that's that. The only thing we have left to get in there is brine. And these are not plugged up to output waste, but I think we only need 2 to start with, which is why we've only plugged in 2. Is that correct? Where do you get your stuff from? 36. If we're only building 2 of these, you do 72, you do 72. So actually, no, we're going to need 4 of those. 4 of those are going to be 108. We are going to need this one here. Which is currently only on a Mark 1 belt, and that is the slurry output. So it's Mark 1, that's fine to there. But at this point, that is going to have to change. We're going to bring that up there at height 1. We're going to plug that into there. I'm going to do the same thing here, bring that up to height 1, plug that in. I'm going to change that, because that I need to be slightly better. So that actually needs to come up to height 4, like that. In fact, I think what I need to do is get rid of that. And start from here. That's what I want to do. And so I'm playing this on Sunday, which means 2 things. 1, I am about 5 videos ahead of the videos which are out. I think tomorrow is the next video, and I think that's going to be I think that's going to be 44, and this will be 49. So this is, yeah, a little bit in advance, but this is the day the last update for the game came out. There were a whole bunch of performance optimizations. There are a couple of fixes, including a fix which said occasionally when the game would load, it would leave holes in planned surfaces. So not existing surfaces, but if you've got them being planned to put down, it'd leave holes. I thought the holes were because that's where shrubs were, but that might be completely wrong. That might just be where that little problem was. So that'll be nice. And there was also a whole bunch of updates to Blueprint. So you can put a Blueprint down now on top of something else to upgrade existing parts. You can put a Blueprint down and ask it to delete existing parts that it's going over. And it said you can also upgrade pipes on a Blueprint. That is one of the nicest things this game has done for me. That is beautiful. We are going to have to plug this in as well. Not really important, but let's get it done, which means that they are outputting 27 and 27, so that one's fine, but this one needs to be upgraded. I'd love... And also, did you notice that? We can downgrade pipes as well as part of Blueprints. Oh, it's so beautiful, I could cry. This one might need to be upgraded to a Mark 3 once we get this all up and running, but that's not a concern for now. You are going to be gold. Not that it's particularly important to set it, because it would do it when this stuff goes in there anyway, but at least that's done. Okay, so we need brine here. Brine we were going to get from this sea down here. We also need some sand, which we might just truck in for the minute until we feel more comfortable getting another sand operation down here. The problem with this is, I was looking at this after I finished the recording of the last one, we cannot fit a sea pump in anywhere at the moment. So we are going to have to come over here and we are going to have to level a bit of this land. In fact, I might do a leveling designation here. So we don't want to interfere with the sand, which looks like it doesn't go under this at all. So if we come over here and say, if we bring this up to height, is height 0 going to be enough? Does it tell us what heights it works at? A maximum height of 5. I feel like we should do at least 1. I feel like 0 isn't going to be enough. So we're going to say leveling designation at height 1. We're going to come through here. We're just going to build a little platform right there for that. That looks like that is actually cut into the ground a little bit. We are going to have to get something doing that. So we are going to go over to the flattenator tower. This one. And we're going to give this a little area over here to do that. We don't want you dumping dirt there, so let's get rid of the dirt. We don't want them getting confused, and then we have to give it an excavator to do that with. We do have these ones here which we could send down, so maybe that's the easiest thing to do. We could also take one off the gold, I suppose, because they're not currently overly busy, and putting a mega excavator on might really benefit that. So let's take those ones off. Let's pause momentarily. And then let's go over here. Not to that one, to this one. And we've got one mega excavator, and we'll give it a couple of haul trucks. I think that has confused things because they can no longer... So if I just give you your 2 back, is that going to fix that? No. I could say for now, accept assigned only, turn off. That should fix that. Iron has nothing. You have no compatible plant for mixed cargo. Another fix which came in the patch is trucks can now carry more than 3 mixed goods. Oh, isn't that wonderful? Let's just pin that a second. So you've got sand, which can come here. You've got rock, which can come here. You've got dirt, which can come here. And you've got slag, which can come here. So you're just lying to me. That absolutely is. And that I don't think is set to, or is set to accept assigned only. That's why that's happening. Let's do that. Iron control tower has nothing to mine at the moment. So we are slowly emptying all of these storages out, which is wonderful. What we can do for now is just get them digging out the rest of this. So let's come over here, mining designation. You do have more stuff you can do. The tower just isn't assigned to that area, so we can fix that quite easily. We're just going to do that. Problem sorted. Excellent. They have almost finished filling in this, which is great. You are slowly making your way down there to start doing that. I don't know where your hauler trucks are. There they are. That's wonderful. So we're going to need to worry about that. What were we going to do? We were going to just put an evaporation pond in for the brine, weren't we? Because otherwise we would need steam. We do generate a tiny bit of steam here, but not a lot. If we do put something in which generates actual steam, we could actually get some water out as well. But then we'd need to bring like coal up here or some form of gas. We do have lots of hydrogen and naphtha. Do we still have lots of hydrogen and naphtha? I'm imagining so. Maybe we do that then. So maybe we put in a little secondary processing plant behind here. We say we want a gas boiler, which we need to leave space for all of these storages. So, in fact, can we fit this in? If we put this here... Oh, I don't know where to put it. I don't want to block off the storages. It'd be nice to put it like here, but we haven't quite dug out enough for me to really do that. So maybe we just put it like here. So we're going to pop that one there. We want a storage for naphtha, which we're just going to plug straight in. We're going to put it in there. You are going to be naphtha. And we want you to be kept full. You are going to be burning naphtha to make high pressure steam. So we want a thermal desalinator, only the one of them really, because that should be making more than enough brine. That will be using high pressure steam. It will be making 42 brine. We need a maximum of 36. So we only need the one. That's fine. This does have water input somewhere. Have we plugged that in? That is this pipe here. So currently that goes into this balancer. Why does it go into a balancer? Because they also use water. And we're just prioritizing that input over anything else. So that's fine. So the water we're going to bring over here at height 5. That is going to come to here and to here and then plug into there. And then we'll also, as a backup, just in case, we're going to bring this in as well at height 4. Turn off snapping. You're going to come to here and plug into there. And then we're going to also prioritize that input. But at least we have that backup water should we need it. You kick out 78 water, so that pipe needs to be upgraded. I love that is the biggest quality of life improvement I've seen in this game for some time. And then where is the brine input? We do not currently have it. Well, okay, that makes sense. So we could take this. That is already at height 5. There's no room there. Oh, where have you gone? There is no room at height 3. There's not going to be any room at height 2. So we'll just bring this in here at height 5. Bring this straight over here. Jump over this one. Nope, jump over that one. Thank you. And then come down here. Turn snapping back on. Put you there. Does that need to be a Mark II? You only make 24 brine, so it doesn't. So let's downgrade that pipe. Oh, I love that so much. Can we get you jumping over these by any chance? Yes, excellent. Like that. That is the brine plugged in. Why do I feel like... Oh, they have 2 water outputs. That's fine. We only need the one connected. That's not a problem. So that is everything. That's everything there done. We need... What is this output if it's naphtha? Exhaust. Well, that's a mild pain. But hey diddly ho, let's stick that on there. How much exhaust is it? 72. So that's not quite enough. So we might need to upgrade that to a big smokestack. Can't do that in place because it's not going to be appropriate. Big smokestack is excessive, but it'll do the job. And then we need to get... Oh, hold on. Hold your horses. Right, now that's connected it properly. And then we need to get the seawater. How are you doing down here? You're doing fantastic. But you are still you are still going. I'm going to turn off the accept assigned only on these 2 for the moment. In fact, no, I'm not. I'm going to put that back on. And I'm going to go over to that Flattenator tower. And I'm going to give you export routes to there and there. And there. Just in case. Cool. Hopefully you don't pick up any sand. Looks okay at the moment. And that is, will that be enough, what you've done there already? Yes. Excellent, that's enough. Don't care about the rest of it. Let's get rid of that. That's all we needed. So let's come over here. Let's give you back your... Oh, we can't do that yet. Let's go over to the flutter roar. We're going to take off your export routes to not confuse things later on. We're going to give you a new area, which is going to be there. We're going to take off that and that. And then we're going to give the gold mine, wherever that is, there it is. It's... Nope. I'm going to give the gold mine its mega truck back. And you were all complaining because you've got loads of gold ore, but it's full. That's fine. Excellent. So now we have the seawater in. So let's get a Mark II pipe. I'm going to try to avoid the sand, because otherwise we're going to end up with this pipe complaining. I also want to avoid the path down. And then we're going to bring you over here, jump over here, come over here, plug into there. Excellent. That is everything I think we need to make this work. So let's unpause. Whoa, no, let's not unpause everything, you crazy, crazy person. We are going to need this. We are going to need this, this, and this. What is this output belt here? That is the slag. Do we not have a slag box? I feel like we put a slag box in. Sand, filter media, sulfur. Maybe we did not put a slag box in. Fair enough. Let's get a slag box in. Let's put that one in here. In fact, we will move that up to here, just in case we do want to upgrade this one at any point, because we did leave space for it. I don't think it's necessary, but just in case. You are going to come down to there. You are going to be slag. And you are going to be set to empty. Right, so now we want this, we want this. We want one of these. We're going to do this one because it's got a shorter belt. And that makes me happier. We are going to, and that's also the one that's connected to these. So we want this. We want both of these and these. We want this and this and all of that. So we want that belt as well and that little tiny one there. We need that and all of the bits in the middle there, but you're going to try to build too much and that's going to frustrate me. So we want that bit. We want this belt, this belt, this belt, this belt, this belt, this belt, this belt. We also want this, and we want this, and we want this, and we want this, and this, this, and this. And then we're going to want this, but let's work on that in a minute. We're just working our way through, slowly but surely. We want 2 of these running. So let's do that. And that. And is there a little bit hidden under there? Yep. Of course there is. And then we're going to want that, and that, and that, and that, and that. Cool. I guess we're going to need this. This is the filter media. So we're going to want one of these up and running, which means we're going to need that slag belt, which means we're going to need this and this. And we're going to need this as well. And that bit of pipe and that bit of pipe. We don't need that bit. We've already got that bit. We've got all of these. I think that's everything. What are you complaining about? Okay, you can't get to this, so let's unity that. That's fine. The other ones you can't get to, we don't want you going to, but you will sort yourselves out when the belts start working, so I'm not too worried about that. We also need this and this. I think that's everything there. No, we're going to need that as well. So we have this, we have this, we have these. This goes into here, which are looking like they're all belted up. You look okay, you look okay, you look okay. I think we're okay. Is there anything else you output? We've got the brine, we've got the water, we've got the slag. I think we're okay. I think we're okay. All right then. So that obviously needs to get built. Oh, the other thing is we don't actually want this. So let's immediately delete that after it's been built, but they can take the construction parts and put them elsewhere, so that's not the end of the world. Trucks are obviously super busy all of a sudden, but that's absolutely fine. I'm really happy we managed to squeeze this in down here. Are we going to have enough workers for all of this? Yeah, we have a low supply of sulfur because we're just taking it all. These are all struggling because they want to take stuff. You're probably trying to take the gold ore down here, but as soon as it's all belted up and working, that should fix itself. We could go through and tell it not to do it, but what we need down here is we need to get rid of this. No, well, let's leave that belt, that's fine. We do want to get a belt from here over to here into there. Now obviously that does block trucks coming through there, but I don't think it's worth really raising, and trucks can go around anyway, it's fine. They'll sort themselves out. Lots of trucks complaining they can't reach stuff. Oh, are you complaining you can't reach stuff to build? Because that's a different matter. Yeah, you can't reach that. Okay. You can't reach that. We're going to have to unity a fair bit of this then, I think. So if we just do... I don't want to do too much because it's going to start doing stuff that I don't want it to do. I don't care that trucks can't reach you. You will be sorted out in the end. You are working. Let's just get that working so that's automatically belted in. Can you reach this? No, I don't think you can reach that either. Okay, I think the rest of it you can sort yourselves out. Maybe not that bit, so let's get that done. And we didn't unpause the gold storage, but you can definitely reach that. So now they're complaining that trucks can't reach them, but I don't care. I don't want trucks to reach you, and that's purely because dust just hasn't been belted into it yet, but it'll get there. So we've got sand coming in, that's wonderful. What are you waiting on? You're waiting on the gold ore concentrate, which is coming out of here, and that's coming there now. You're going to need that chimney. You are waiting on naphtha until you start working, so we're not going to be able to do the toxic processing until then, but that should be fine. This is the filter media. We're going to need that fairly soon. You haven't been told to store anything, so let's do that. Did we tell it to do naphtha? We did. Why are they not bringing naphtha then? Is the naphtha tank set to not export? Yes. Let's change that. We do want trucks to be able to export from there, otherwise that will never ever work, which would be bad. That would be bad for us. We have another medical epidemic on the way. We have a severe flu. We might need to think about well, building more housing, because I think we can do that now. So maybe that's the next thing we do. And also unpausing the beacon. Maybe, we'll have to see. This has all been built though, and we've got enough workers for it, so maybe we're not too worried about that. Maybe we're not too worried about that, but we probably need to sort that out ready. So, how's this all looking? You are still waiting for this. That suggests to me that there is a bit that hasn't been built, which is right there. Cool, so you now have that. you will now start making the very first bits of gold we have ever produced. Building may collapse. Ah, okay. Let's get rid of a whole chunk of that. Nice and quickly, please. And then let's bring that in at a different height. So make sure it doesn't interfere with any of this. If we unity that, is this pipe empty? Not yet, so we'll just leave that until it is actually being emptied. That's that. We could not store all the fruits after a harvest. Well, that's an interesting conundrum. So we now have, we have tofu coming in abundance, and we have really full belts over here, which is great, The reason this is struggling is because these belts are not moving stuff out fast enough, I think. So let's get... Haha, I want this belt. Okay, let's try this way. I want this belt upgraded. If I do that and unity that, that goes up to here, which gets stuff out faster here, doesn't change this. So let's also upgrade this one. The problem is we actually just have too many fruits in there. So fruits, which are on the bottom rung, which go over here into these ones. We already have 3 of these. So if we can just get this one selected, that should get an extra one processing fruits, which should be absolutely fine. Everything else is also backing up, however. Not so much that we are full of them, apart from corn, which is its own problem, and one that we will be dealing with at another point. What is this other belt that's paused? The soybeans, that's absolutely fine. We also have oodles and oodles of potatoes that we are unable to process, and potatoes, it's not really backing up, so that's fine. Trucks are struggling to find a destination you can reach. What are you trying to reach? Something over here. Ah. Let's unity that. Give that a second, see how many of those disappear. Going down. Block due to full output. Well, is what it is. You're full of rock, and we're full of rock. Does that mean that we finished doing this? Oh, hold on a second then. Yeah. So for now, we can just carry on filling in this one. So terraforming, dumping at height 3, all the way over there. And that bit, I don't think they already get all of this done, but just so that we have it covered, you can do that. Excellent, which means we can now also come over to the dirt dumping tower. We can say you can deal with everything up to here, and actually a bit more. And then we're going to say dumping designation. We're going to get rid of all of that. And we're going to say you now want to be height 4. Up to, or we can do that up to that line, can't we? So let's do that. Cool. So that's going to get a bit of dirt out. Excuse me. And we're going to get them dumping stuff elsewhere, which will hopefully stop this getting blocked up quite as much. We still could do with replacing all of these storages with large ones. That's a future thing. That's a future thing. So excellent. Do we have gold? We have gold. Not a lot, but it's getting there. These are both working. These are not really working full time because you don't have the gold ore. Because why? Because that belt is the wrong way round. And then we also need to make that and that. Right, so now we should be able to process 72, which is one of those, 72, which is one of those. You then output 18 gold ore concentrate, which is exactly what one of those needs. Cool, so that should start working properly. Our filter meter is full, our naphtha is full. You have not burnt anything because you don't have any water input. You don't have any water input. You are not wrong, my friend. You are not wrong. So what we actually probably want to do is come off of this. How much water do you need? It's only like 48, isn't it? So let's get a Mark 1 pipe, and we're going to come off of this at height 4. Turn off, snap in. We're going to come down here. I'm going to go here. We're going to go along here. Where is your water input? Hold on a second. So we're going to just build that to there for them. In fact, we're going to need to get rid of one of those because it's going to be frustrating otherwise. Where is your water input? Oh, you're blocked by the naphtha. Oh, okay. So let's copy this, stick that there, turn off that, unity that, delete that, and then quick remove that, which I thought would go into there, but it did not. That's fine, because both your inputs are on that side. Yes, okay, fine. And then we can, well, we can delete that then, since that's sort of in the wrong place now. But if we copy that before it disappears, unity that, bring this in here. You need to be a Mark II pipe from, oh, you need to be a Mark II pipe with snap-in on to go into there. Let's just unity that and that. And then you, at height 4, come to here, plug into here. And that should be fine. I don't think we need to prioritize the outputs. No, that should be all right. Let's get that built. So we currently have water coming in from these, which is absolutely fine. But that should soon, hopefully, be supplanted by the water from here. You do have the seawater, I'm taking it. Yes, you're just waiting on the steam. You are now waiting on the naphtha. We need to mark you to be kept full. That's fine. Okay, we have a low supply of steel. Okay. We have a low supply of sulfur. We do have a really low supply of sulfur. That's because we've just taken it all to put up there. So I'm hoping that'll start building up again soon. Otherwise, that could be a problem going forward. Like I say, maybe we need to do like a one-off import of sulfur just so we have a big tank of it somewhere. We have a low supply of mox rods, but that's fine. We would expect that because they're only generating like one every 8 seconds. So in fact, I'll probably just turn that alert off. We don't really care if it's low. Could not store all of the fruits after harvest. Where are your belts? I think... No, that is still just taking a while. And that is the maximum size. It's just because 4 of them aren't processing fast enough, I guess. You are processing, right? Ah, it's because we're full of fuel gas. So you can't process everything because the fuel gas is full. Which is, you know, that's great. It's great the fuel gas is full, but it means our food's going to back up. I guess that's not the end of the world. I guess it's not the end of the world. We're sort of wasting water generating it, but I can live with that for now. I can live with that for now. One of you are struggling to find a destination you can reach. No, you're not. You're lying to me. Right, the low supply of steel, however, is more concerning. It says there's a low supply of steel, but it does look like it's actually going up. That's probably just because we've been building loads of construction parts. So I don't think that's actually a concern. Whereas steel, yeah, steel is ticking up. And we had a big dip down, but I think it's ticking up again. Yeah, we're producing more than we're using, so I'm not too fast with that. That'll sort itself out. Sulfur is a minor concern, but we'll get to that when we get to that. Excellent. Right, so with gold done and working, and these two should be working flat out. I don't know why you're not working flat out. Because you can't get rid of the toxic slurry. Because your water is full. Because no one ever built that pipe. No, because that's the brine. Ah, no one ever built that pipe. What happens if the water fills up, I hear you ask? It's a very good question. Maybe we do need an additional... No, because if we put an additional output on that and that's got an input, it's just going to... Maybe we pause this pipe? I know they are set to prioritize the inputs from this and from the toxic slurry. That uses 60. That uses 40. So we're using 108 water every 60. Well, we're not, because that's only burning every now and then. We're definitely using 60, but this makes... Well, that makes 36. So that should be fine. But that combined with that should be providing enough water. So I don't think we need this water input. I know it's not prioritizing it, but that's still probably too much water coming into the system. So what we do probably need because that's going to stop when the brine fills up. Oh, power problems. Well, that's a separate issue. We'll come to that in a moment. What do we do? So you're making 36. You're making 78, but only when you need brine. You use 36 brine. You produce 42 brine. So you're only running 3/4 of the time. Is that right? 3/4? Ish. I think. Ish. Oh, hang on a second. Okay. 36 divided by 42 times 100. You're running 85% of the time. 8571. So you're producing 78 times 8. No, times 0.8571. So you're producing 66 water. You're producing 66, you're producing 36. We're getting about 100 water. The outputs we have for water are 48 times 0.8571. So we're using 41 there, and we're using 60 there. So we're using about 100 water, and we're producing about 100 water. Okay. So with that one paused, let's prioritize the water from the toxic slurry first. And what we may need to do if we see things stopping because they're full of water, like this, is we may need to flip this pipe. So that is now an output. We prioritize those two outputs. And we unpause that pipe. So if there is excess water, it should now go along here. We might need to put a balancer in here, but that will help. We'll need to get rid of like 1 water a second. So let's just do that. We'll see how it goes. We have a grand total of 162 gold there. Excellent. Still have a low supply of sulfur. That's not going to change in the short term. We do have, there's quite a lot on this belt, isn't there? I know it says that it's low, but we do have a lot of sulfur in the system still. Okay, right. What's next? So with gold sorted, we can get rid of this. With gold sorted, we need to do this. So the first thing we need to do is look at this situation here. So we need another one of these. I'm going to delete that immediately. We need that's fine. That should be fine. But that's there. No, that is there. So if we pop that one in there, whoop, hold shift to ignore collisions. Beautiful. So there's an extra step there to ignore the collisions, but that's fine. So we want this, but we want this upgraded to a Mark II, which is going to be doing molten silicon. So you have sand input, you have coal input, you have graphite, which comes from here, which we do need to get belted in. That could be a bit of an issue. Oh, it's definitely a bit of an issue. If we go that way, it's still a horrible, horrible issue. So what we could do is just use a couple of... I suppose if I get rid of that, actually, does that make that nicer? Slightly. But we can't actually plug in there. And it has to go all the way around. So what if we come from there? It still does something god-awful. Okay. What can we do? Well, we could move the graphite box, or we could just put in another graphite box. But that seems wasteful. I don't want to put in another graphite box. And space is very tight there. Okay, so what if we look to use... Well, let's get the rest of this done first. So you... Let's delete you and delete... Oh, hold on. Cancel that. You... Can we get you over there nicely? Not at the moment. So what if we bring you... I don't really want to get rid of the whole thing, but fine. We'll get rid of the whole thing. Whatever, game. Whatever. You can go over there quite nicely. You are going to output 36 slag, so a Mark 1 belt is absolutely fine. Excellent. This... We don't need that bit or that bit for the minute. This is going to output 48 compared to 24. So we are going to have to take a Mark 1, plug that in there, and then upgrade this pipe. Okay. We also need some water input, which we're going to have over here as well, but we need to deal with this graphite first. So let's give ourselves some more space. Let's pop that there. Let's unity that. Once that's been built, let's delete that. Let's quick remove, and it's gone immediately into there. And then it's immediately filled back up again. Do not accept, in fact, pause you, and then delete you again. If something's marked for deletion, it should not be able to receive input still. That frustrates me. Right, so I want you there. And then you can come in, let's just give you as much space as possible. So you can come in there now. Excellent. We need you built, so let's do that. Does that give us enough space to do anything better with over here? I mean, very nearly. If we go there and there, that's not terrible. That's not terrible. I'm okay with that. Okay. We need water, which we have somewhere over here. Here is the water tank. Where is the water pipe? There it is. So you go up to there, where you are then paused. You go up to here. Okay. What is this one? Oh, that's something completely different. That's fine. So if we just took somewhere where it can join to this pipe. If we come here. There was somewhere it was okay with there. If I go to height 5, it doesn't like it. If I go to height 4, that's fine. Okay, we can live with height 4. And you need to go all the way over there. So let's bring you to here at height 5. Make you neater? Not really. So let's just bring you there for the minute, and then we'll work on that in a moment. Because how we're going to get that down there is a bit more of a mystery. So what we could do, in fact, is just bring this to, like, here. And then connect that in there. So this one's pretty much good to go. We do need to get these plugged in, and this is going to have to be done differently because this is now outputting 72 molten silicon. These can only process 36 between them. So I feel like we want to do something like this. We're going to have to give it a bit of additional space. We could probably get away with... not quite, because of those being in the way there. Do you know what? Let's do this one now, because this I think is confusing matters. Let's upgrade this one. Let's delete this, 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 and this, because I suspect that might also be in the way. Let's get this plugged in down there, however that sees fit. That is absolutely fine. I'm not really too bothered. You only need 1 water. Oh, you only need 6 water, sorry. But you do also output low steam. Where does the low steam come from? It comes from here. Okay. That's something for us to deal with in a moment. I was going to Unity this, but they're doing it so fast I'm not too bothered. Okay. Would be nice if this was mirrored the other way so we could connect the 2 slag belts together, but it is what it is. It is what it is. We'll just have to live with this situation. So we could put this here. If we put that there and we copy these, there's not a lot of room there to do anything with. Okay. So if we take this and then that's going to be in the way. So that's literally as close as we can get. We could do this. And then do that. It's not ideal, but it will work. So we have here 72 molten silicon, so we're going to need a... How much do they carry? I think that's going to be fine. But that's going to block the... Oh. It's not going to be fine. We do need more space. We do need more space. How are we going to fit this all in? I think this needs to move. What are you? You are the slag. So let's put you there. Let's get you built. Let's delete you. And then quick remove that, which has gone somewhere. And then we delete that and that. And Unity that. And then you come over here. And in fact, does it have to... I was going to say, does it have to be that far away? But it is. So, whatever. You're going to go there. Okay. I would really like you to move. You just sat in the most awkward place, truck. Okay, I'm going to pause because these are now delivering stuff and I don't really need them to because you're getting coal inputted anyway. What are they delivering to you? You've got sand. We might need to upgrade that sand belt. It's only a Mark II and they now need 96 sand. So we need 200 sand here alone. And plus what goes elsewhere. So we are going to have to upgrade this sand belt, I think, which is going to be a bit of an additional drain on our power. Hey diddly ho is what it is. You're already moving. Right. Pause. Okay, so let's copy these ones. So they could go there. Let's deal with the middle ones first, and then we'll deal with these ones after. So if we put them there, they are directly in the middle of the smelters. Well, they're not directly in the middle. Okay, so we could maybe move that to there. And then this could go here, which should be fine. We're kind of blocking off one of the ports for this. They're outputting 18. So altogether we're going to get 144. So if we just put a Mark II belt up there, that should be fine. Okay, so then you are still going to be a problem. You actually need more space. So let's move you up to there. And then you would have to go there. I don't really like it, but I think we're going to have to live with it. So you are going to come down to here, plug into there, plug into there, plug into there. You are going to come down to here, plug into there, plug into there, plug into there, plug into there. And I think that should be fine. The hydrogen, well, let's do this belt here first. Let's get a Mark II flat conveyor. Plug that in there, plug that in there. We're then going to have to come along the front, take up a bit more space, which is a little frustrating, but it is what it is. Plug you into there. Truck should still be able to get to this, which is the main thing, I guess. And then we need the hydrogen. So if we bring the hydrogen to height 1, can we take it down the middle? No, we can take it this way though, which might be neater. How much hydrogen do you need? Piddly amount. So Mark 1 is absolutely fine. Turn snapping back on. You go into there. You go into there. You go into there. You go into there. You go into... How are we doing for time? Almost there. You're going to go into there. You're going to go... Oh, you can't because there's a thing there. Fine. You're going to go into there. You're going to go into there. So that should be the hydrogen done. This doesn't have any output, which is obviously problematic. We can do that. Excellent. So we are now using 200 sand plus 100 sand. Okay, so we're using 300 sand. So that belt should be upgraded anyway. And then what is not connected there? Sand. And that's going to be a problem because that's not going to connect in. So we need to get rid of that connector. Does that leave a belt in its place? No. So can we put a belt in its place? And then we are going to need to, we're going to need to unity that, I think. And we're going to need to get a loose connector. Oh, it's really hard to see where it is. There. Which is going to cause issues when we turn this one on because that connector is then going to be too close, but that's a problem for another time. So what are you now complaining about there? think you're just complaining about that one. But I don't mind about that. What is the other complaint here? It looks like it's something to do with this belt, but I don't know what that would be. Okay, so that bit of belt needs to be upgraded because you're still a Mark 1. I can see you sneaking in there. So you need to be upgraded. And then everything before this needs to be upgraded to a Mark 3. And then we hope that we can get enough sand to keep all this running. But it shouldn't need to run at full whack. This is sort of future-proofing for when it does. And this then goes all the way back to there. At which point, that should be fine. Okay. We've got problems. Low supply of iron ore. Because you're not 100%. 75%. How is that possible when you've got this plugged in? Oh, because you're only set to receive when you... So, yeah. So you actually need to be set to like 50%, I think. 75% should be fine. But let's do that. That's fine. High supply of corn, low supply of sulfur. Oh. You are trying to get to there. Don't. Just quite simply do not. It is unnecessary. Thank you very much. We could unpause all of that, and that, and that, and that, and that, and not you, you. And does that pipe go all the way back? Yes. Okay. So that should be fine. The one thing we are not getting rid of is the low supply, sorry, the steam bits. So pop that there. That there. You only output 6. We're just going to pop in a cooling tower. Cooling tower, Mark 1, because they're only outputting 6. If we pop that in there, connect that to there, and then this we could do with popping into like there. Don't know what stupid route that's taken, but that's absolutely fine. And then this should all be up and running. It can't get rid of the steam at the moment. That's because we haven't unpaused that or that or that. What are you complaining about? You don't have coal. Why do you not have coal? Because you are right next to another... another connector. How much coal do you need? 24, so a Mark 1 belt. Ooh! Is that a Mark 1 belt right there? Yes, that needs to be a Mark 2. That probably means that you have a Mark 1 belt right there, if I can possibly get to it. There we go. So you need to connect into the coal in a different location. Well, that's annoying, isn't it? Okay, oh, hold on. You do not need to be a Mark 2. We can downgrade you to a Mark 1 just like that. And I cannot stress how much I love that. Honestly, it is the highlight of my life at the moment. Okay, that should all be fine now. So this is getting coal. This should start running. You are waiting on your water input, however. Why are we waiting on water input? Oh, because, yeah, the rest of this pipe was never built, was it? So let's unity that. Oh, this is going to be a pain and a half. Unity that. Unity that. Oh, it's not going to be a pain and a half. It only goes back to there. That's not a pain. That's absolutely fine. This one, however, oh, that does have water. It didn't look like that was built. Or is that one there that's not built? That's fine. So we now should have water coming along here. It's working on it. It'll get there in the end. Excellent. We do not care if trucks can get to you or not. We do not give a damn. We just want to see the water make its way. Yep, it's just there. It's there. That one is now working. This one is trying to get rid of its slag, and it can't. Why can you not? Because we didn't build those bits. Yep, fair point. Fair point. I take your note. And that should give us... Oh, can trucks get to this? I'm not convinced they can anymore because of that cooling tower being right there. Yeah, let's move this. Still got low supply sulfur, that's fine. Let's Unity. Should have copied it first, just to save me going all the way down to there. So if we actually put this in here, trucks can get to that, they can get to that. I don't think large hauls are going to be able to get there, but that is not a massive problem. So let's get rid of that. Let's copy this. Let's go to there at height 5. Plug that in there. You plug in there. And then Unity, Unity, and Unity. So you can't get rid of your steam at the moment. That's about to change. There we go. And then this is going to burn and create a tiny fraction of water, which is going to try to get into here, which could be a problem because you only make 6 steam and you use 6 water, and this is water negative is what I'm getting at. So I'm hoping that this we might have to look at putting a prioritizer in there. Prioritization, that's the word I'll go for. Low supply of iron ore. We are actually using more iron ore than we're getting in, and that is because this belt is not full anymore. And that, if that belt is not full, that means these buckets are not full. And these buckets are not full because we are digging up a lot of non-iron. That is completely the case. There should be a lot of iron in them bar hills still. Making sure that these are set to prioritize iron. They are, so that means that we are struggling a little bit. So what we can do is come and add all of that in. And then come here and edit the area and give it a new rectangle and say you can do all of that. And I'm going to move you down a bit because I know there is also iron down here. That will hopefully help with that. What we could probably do with is build in another mega excavator to go over there if we are having problems. So let's build another mega excavator and a couple more haul trucks. Let's Unity the delivery. I know that's all belted in here, but let's save ourselves 6.5 seconds by wasting a bit of Unity. Why not? Right, we are now having power problems again. We'll see how that goes. If it becomes a bit of a consistent thing, we will re-enable the other power plant. The next stage would be to upgrade this, or say upgrade, increase this up to 288, which I think would be another row of these. So we could always get that planned in ready. Oh, that's a pain and a half. I can't really be bothered at the moment. Just can't be bothered. Screw it. So we are putting dirt over here. That looks lovely. We are starting to get rid of lots of these now. So let's mark all of those for deletion. Delete, 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 delete. Delete, 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 delete. That felt quite good, I'm not going to lie. That felt quite good. This one is here. It does have a belt in place, but I never built that last bit, which is hopefully deliberate on my part, and that's because we just want to get rid of all this first, so we can get rid of this. You are digging out this. You're probably pulling out a lot of sand. It looks like sand is collapsing into the mine as well. That is what it is. We would like to get rid of this before we get these bits, really. If it comes to it, I will just force the deletion and move the rock, move the wood wherever it can go. If that's what we need to do, that's what we need to do. Sulfur, I mean, the belts are still pretty much full, so it's still not a massive concern. This looks like it's now digging up more iron. Did we build that other mega excavator? Almost. There it is. Okay, so you're going to come over here. You're going to come over here. Mega excavator. And a couple more trucks for you. Probably too many trucks, but hey diddly ho. Right. Yeah. Fruits are a problem, but there's not a lot we can really do about it. We could build more fruit processing. That's not fruit, is it? That's vegetables, right? Yeah. Oh, we couldn't because it's going there. Is there something else we can do to process these things? No, not really. No. I was hoping we could just turn them into like animal feed or something, or compost in some other way, but it's not really an option. If we flare off excess fuel gas, pretty sure that creates pollution, so I don't really want to do that. Don't really want to do that. Is there something we could do to use up more fuel gas? Not really, is the answer. Yeah. Yeah. We just have a lot of fuel gas. What do we do about it? Nothing, I think. It's just absolutely nothing. Okay, right. Let's just check on these, make sure these are all running okay. They are, of course, full of silicon poly. Obviously they are, because they have been absolutely hammering it. Copper mine's looking pretty good. There's only a tiny little bit down at this extra level, so I might wait till the end until we think about changing that. I'm really hoping we see a lot more iron ore coming in very soon, because that is obviously going to have a massive impact. None of this is running, which is nice. We're not going to be using up the iron ore there, but obviously we are using a lot of steel. And we're using a lot of that in the vehicle parts at the moment. Yes. Yes. Oakley dokley. So the next thing for us to do, this is all running lovely. Why are we not running? Why are we not running? Because we don't have gold ore. Why don't we have gold ore? Because you can't get rid of the toxic slurry. Because you haven't got enough brine. You haven't got enough brine because your water is full. Okay, let's get rid of a few of these bits here. Unity that. Get a pipe balancer in. Pop that in there. Connect to that to there. Upgrade that one to a Mark II, which is what it should be. And then prioritize that input. And then Unity. And then unpause the game. So now the excess water will be sent down here. We have already told this to prioritize the other outputs over this one. It is prioritizing the output from the toxic slurry at the moment. But hey diddly ho. So that water will go down there. It'll prioritize that water going down that pipe. That will get that running. That will get the brine coming in, which is now coming in fast enough. That'll get more gold being made. We're now up to 276 gold. Okay. Cool. So I think that was a necessary little addition to that. Excellent. You are on accept assigned only, and I need you to be accept assigned only as well. So I don't want other things coming in there particularly. Cool, because I think all these are accept assigned only. Yeah, so that's exactly what that should be. Is the other mega excavator up here yet? Yeah, it's just got there. It is not going to be told to do iron ore as a priority, so we're going to tell that to do iron ore as a priority. Do we have enough trucks? Yeah, I think so. Just about. Be nice if we could tell the haul trucks to only really work with this one. Because we've got a bit of a weird... We can't sort of need 4 for that, and let's get rid of those 2. So hopefully the 2 little ones will focus on this one, and the haul trucks will do the others. But we do have a fair bit more iron ore in stock now, so that is slowly working its way down the belt. Doesn't look like anything's been affected. We did notice that in time because of that notification. In which case I am going to put this back to 75 because that was doing exactly what it should do, and it told me long before we had a major issue, which is perfect. They are still busy dumping all the dirt that we have. You need to be told to be kept empty, I suppose. Because you shouldn't be able to be dumped anywhere else. Yeah, you won't go into those ones. Trucks can't import to that anyway. And you shouldn't be able... You can't dump into that one because it's being told... No, not that one. That one because it's being told to empty. And that one... Trucks should... No, the trucks can import, but it's accept assigned only. So that should be okay if we tell trucks to empty that. And then they will go over there, take all of that dirt. Look at all these haul trucks going. I love that sight. And that should get that done a bit faster. Woo, okay, right. How are you looking? You're looking like you're not spinning? Oh, we are spinning. Okay, that's fine. I just didn't think it was going all that fast to start with, but it's looking fine. We do have an alert on this when it's at 75% full, but you only have 11 spent fuel. You have 180 spent MOX, however. I didn't think you'd be using MOX all that often, but we have ran out of MOX now, because this uses the spent fuel, which we're relying on trucks to bring over. And that's fine, they're not doing that with any sort of priority. We've only got 12 in there. They'll be waiting until there's a full truckload to take across. That's what they're doing. We have 180 fission, and we have 0 plutonium because all the plutonium's gone into here, which is perfect to make the MOX rods. Right, so I think that's okay. That's looking fine. This is looking fine. This just is not emptying. With that paused, we could probably look to prioritize that input now just to get this all emptied out, and then we can look to use that for something else perhaps, because I'm not convinced we really need it. This is making salt. Is there another way of making salt, or does it just come from... It just comes from the evaporation ponds. That's fine, whatever. Obviously we've got enough of that coming in. Cool. Cool. So it's about time for us to finish up. We are over that crucial hour mark, and I've got a lot of tidying to do in the kitchen ready for the week. So nuclear power is running fantastically. We are covering a bit more of our island with dirt. In fact, I think we have finished covering that bit with dirt now, which is beautiful. Let's just have a little checkaroony. Yep. So that's awesome. They are finishing getting a little bit more of this dug out, but the sand keeps collapsing into it, and that is what it is. They'll get there. This is slowly emptying to make construction parts, although they are not currently making any at the moment. We still have a low supply of iron ore, but I mean, we don't really, do we? We've got loads of that now, so that's great. They are busy filling in this mine over here, the old coal mine, and that is looking fantastic. Bearing in mind it went all the way to here to start with, they have filled in huge amounts of that with rock and dirt, which just goes to show how much rock and dirt we are actually producing. The gold processing is up and running, he says. It is just about up and running, yes. It looks like this is being stopped at some points because you are full of toxic slurry, because you are waiting on brine. You shouldn't be waiting on brine anymore. You are full of water. But the water should be going down here and going out of this pipe. Problem being that this pipe isn't being emptied all of that fast. So we could also put a balancer in here to say to prioritize this pipe, but I don't really want to do that. What to do, what to do. Because then we'd need to also put a balancer in here saying to prioritize that one. Well, we need to do something. We need to do something. I mean, we're using so little water that those are actually not doing anything. All of these are full. Somehow, all of those are full. That's basically full. And that's full. I mean, it was raining not very long ago, but still. How can we get rid of water faster? We could dump it. I don't really want to dump the water. That seems incredibly wasteful. There's not a lot else we can do with it. It's already going into a boiler. It's already going in to make acid. We don't have any compost up there to make fertilizer with. We don't have any compost to make fertilizer with. We just said that. We can mix it with salt to make brine. That seems, again, quite wasteful. We could stick it into an electric boiler. No, because then we don't need the steam. We're already doing exhaust scrubbing. I'm not sure there's a lot else we can do with the water, but we do need that water gone. I think the long and short of it is we didn't really need the thermal desalinator there. We put that there to try and help us, but it isn't really helping. What we could... I mean, it's already got a balancer there. I think we just have to put extra balancers in. I think that's all we can really do. If we put a balancer in here, though, then it will just drain all of that before it does anything else. I feel like I need to put a dump in. I don't really want to put a dump in, but I think we have to put a dump in just to get rid of the excess water. It's a bit silly. It's a bit silly. And it's sort of a short-term solution. I'm so glad that fits in there. So you're going to be getting rid of water, rather annoyingly. Let's get a Mark 1 pipe. Something that you never ever want to do is just dump water. But needs must. Maybe we will swap this over to heated ponds, I guess. Right, so when we come into here, can we get it under there? Yeah. And let's try and match these stupid pillars. This is the next quality of life thing I would really love. The ability to either remove pillars or have them set to like a world grid in some way. I suppose we could just take that back a bit, couldn't we? And let's just have that come over here. And then plug into there. So you're another output. I guess I want to prioritize that output as well. And we could have multiple balances here to do all of this. But we know that one's not going very fast. We just want to make sure that this is like the last resort. Oh, silly. I really detest doing this. Like just throwing away good water. But, I mean, we could put a big storage in, but at some point that storage is going to fill up and there's literally going to be nothing we can do about it. Okay, so that should now be getting rid of the excess water from the system. We are putting it up here as a priority and putting it into the system as a priority. Let's see if that causes any problems going forward. Maybe it will, maybe because we're putting water down this pipe. Maybe we'll be in a situation where that is now pushing too much water down there. We won't have enough water coming in to do the acid and stuff with. It seems entirely possible, but there we go. Still saying you got a low supply of iron ore, but you're at 80%. Is that just because we haven't got rid of that, I think? Sulfur is, yeah... There's still almost a full belt coming in. Maybe that's gone down slightly more. Maybe just about. We do have a full supply of corn, and there's not a lot we can do about it because we just have all of them are just entirely backed up now because we are full of fuel gas. Is there anything else we can do with fuel gas? We can burn it. Don't really want to do that. We can make diesel. We're full of diesel. We're already burning it to make steam. I could pause all the naphtha, so we're using the fuel gas first. We can use a rotary. We're already using a rotary kiln. We're already using it in the incineration plant. We're already put it into a hydrogen reformer. And chemical fuel, if we have aluminium. And I know it's spelled aluminum there, but that is not how we say it in this country. And what is chemical fuel for? It's used to make space station parts. So I guess we need a lot of fuel gas at that point. Doesn't help us now, though, does it? And the only thing we can do is to vent off the excess which comes into the system. I really don't want to do that. I don't want to do that. It seems horrible. Like it's going to be really polluting. But we are currently just making too much fuel gas. What do we prioritize over here? Out of interest. I think we're prioritizing the fuel gas. It doesn't really matter because the diesel's full. The fuel gas is full. The hydrogen's full. The naphtha's basically full. Yeah, there's not a lot we can do about it. I am going to pause the 4 naphtha burners. At least we are using naphtha like over here. Oh no, we're making naphtha there. At least we're using naphtha here, I should say. Yeah, I don't know. A bit of a conundrum what to do when you're making too much stuff. We could get these unpaused at some point, which will help burn off some of the excess, I suppose. We might need to if this keeps creeping around that edge. Yeah, cool. So we had another pandemic recently and we lost another 43 people. That's not the end of the world. Iron ore's full, copper's full, coal's full, gold ore is full. Probably don't need 2 mega excavators there, but they're there now. That's a potential issue. Ah. Aha. How much maintenance do you make? You make 480. We're only consuming 185. That says you're making 320 at each run. You say you make 480. I don't really understand that. So that's actually fine. It's just that hasn't run because it doesn't need to because it's not low enough to top it up. Okay, that's fine then. Cool. Well, so what have we done today? We have got gold processing up and running. We have got enhanced silica outputs done. Ready for next time. hopefully more of the wood storage emptying. We have covered this area with dirt. We need to move these pipes here so we can continue expanding this bit here, which would be lovely. Truck is struggling to find a destination it can reach. You've already fixed it, it's fine. Obviously the tree saplings are all full, it's not a lot we can do about that. Hello game. Oh, my keyboard just stopped working momentarily. We are full of dirt down here, which is fine. It's not ideal. We might have to start, like I say, making a big dirt dump somewhere. But like where? Because ideally you'd want them to dump it down, right? I might have to build just like a dirt pyramid somewhere. Like over here maybe. I don't know. So next time we are going to look to get this up and running. We are going to finally look to get Microchips 3 being produced. So we can get Lab Equipment 4 being produced. So we can start progressing up the research tree. Because currently it's just sat there not doing a lot. We could get more of this again, but it is up to 5,000 research points now, which is, in fact, is only about the same as we're doing over there. But hey-ho. It has reduced our pollution by 16%, which is massive. A 16% decrease in pollution is huge. Our radiation pollution has basically gone after I meant to look at that ages ago, after we fixed the belt problem. Air pollution is starting to trend upwards again because we keep building things which are chucking out waste and not having it be processed, and that's because everything we're building is so far away from everything else, like these gold producers down here. Well, you know, is what it is. Is what it is. I'm not going to build a whole, because they use huge amounts. Waste management, exhaust scrubbers. Yeah, they take 240, and that still makes air pollution. So we'd have to do 480 to really make use of it. And then that makes huge amounts of carbon dioxide, which we'd have to output somewhere, and it makes steam low. It's just too much of a hassle. It's just too much of a hassle. So I'd have to pipe it all the way over here. Or we start building things closer to home, I guess, is the other option. The stuff down here we could probably pipe up at some point, but that's, again, future maths problem. Cool. Awesome, awesome, awesome. Cannot wait to get Electronics 3 done. We will at some point get around to doing this. And then we also need to think about what we're going to do about fuel gas. That's the other thing. Do we just start venting some fuel gas? I don't think... Well, we do have a balancer here for fuel gas. But we can't prioritize both of those outputs. So we'd have to put another one somewhere and start just venting it off. Or, you know, do it at the back of this. We do have this balancer here, which prioritizes an input and an output. So we could prioritize that output and have a flare coming off here. But I don't really want to do that. It seems so wasteful. And also, saying that if we did that... Oh no, because it'd still be trying to fill this first, wouldn't it? So I think that would still work. I was thinking now we're going to take all the fuel gas and just start venting it regardless. I don't know, we might have to do that. We might have to. Because yeah, we're not storing all of our food after harvests. Which isn't a massive problem, but then we're not making compost, so we're not making the fertilizer. We do have full organic fertilizer for all the good that does us. What we don't have is a lot of fertilizer too, which is what I really want. Yeah, cool. All right, well, stuff to think about next time. Blah, 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 blah. Rewind, went too far. If you're enjoying this, hit the like button, comment, subscribe, all those amazing things. I will see you next time in Captain of Industry, and as always, thank you so very, very much for joining me.